Hey you guys, I'm back and we're doing a field trip. So this time we're at the front of the complex. So I'm going to give you a nice view of the front of our complex. Bin day was a Friday night and it's Monday afternoon. Now all of this area here is considered to be common area garden because it's on our fence line. Now as you can see, it's all dead and dying. Lots of weeds, our grass is dead. Oh look, we've got rubbish here. Now this little blue car and this red car have gone from the visitor parking outside my unit to the visitor parking here at the front of the complex. So that's kind of frustrating. But look at the state of this garden in here. And this is our entranceway, you guys. This is the entranceway. So, you know, I don't think anyone's been out here to do any gardening in very, very long time. Here's another one of our gardens at the front. Now, when I first came to this complex, all those garden beds there that are now empty with half surviving plants were filled with beautiful green blooms. Now these hedges, because they don't get watered but they continue to get cut, are pretty much dying. There's a nice little bit of foliage happening on the top there, but the rest of them are pretty spindly. Pretty spindly. So, yeah, so this is the entranceway to our lovely complex. So we'll come over here. This is the pedestrian gate now. I bought my automatic opener so that I could get back in, but as usual, our pedestrian gate was not locked. Either someone doesn't have a key or they've lost their key and they leave it open. Not us. Okay, so here's our garden here. This is where our fire hydrant is, and this is the entranceway as you come through our main pedestrian gate. So again, as you can see, not real flash. Okay, so we're coming down to the other end of the complex here. So anything could happen. We could run into people who don't like me filming, so we'll see. Oh, now these are our green waste bags. And here, look at this. This is pretty good, really, isn't it? So this is what we're paying for here. Now, we thought the hedges up our end were good. Check these ones out. Look at that. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. And these ones, these garden beds. And the grass. Look at this poor tree. Not sure what's going on there. He's just a bit dead. Whereas these ones, they're a bit tall. Really. Especially because remember, we're in Queensland, so come storm season, those trees are going to be a problem. So, We're going to head up back towards my end of the complex now where you guys have been. But there's a few more gardens here, which all of the gardens in front of the lots are common area garden. So it looks like that the visitor parking is not the only thing. Another one of those spec hedges. It looks like the common area parking is not the only thing that he only polices at my end. Now, we were talking about some trees, or I was, I think, in a previous video. And about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, these trees were cut right back to nothing. They were tree trunks because they were deemed to be dangerous. Nothing's happened to them since then, and here they are. So again, with the Queensland storm season, that could do some pretty full-on damage to somebody's property. Now, up the driveway here, you can see probably some of this garden behind me. Now, these are, again, all of this dirt and deadness that you see was filled with plants and blooms. Whereas now, because there's no irrigation, because there's no fertilisation, everything is just falling apart. And here we've got on the outside these hedges appear. Oh, look, that's nice and green hedge. But when you get close, the poor bugger's barely surviving. And then, of course, one of the main garden features of our complex is these days weeds. So we've got a nice little patch happening. Now these grass things, they were everywhere. This is what I pulled a lot of out of my front garden because they are just dying. Look at all that dead stuff, and eventually you look like you've got a great big dead tumbleweed. Look how long and tall those weeds are. Nothing's happened there for a really long time. You know, it's just, I don't know how to describe the pain I feel. Okay, so here we've got some more grass. Now, a point on the grass there is nice and dead, but he just keeps mowing over the top of that grass. So it's going to turn to dirt. Any tick of the clock, it's going to turn to dirt. You know? And this is what we pay for. This is what we pay for. Now here we have these hedges. Now this one's actually for sale. It was under contract, but I think the contract could be looking wobbly because the agent's been back. Look, more of these grass things that just die and die and die. And, you know, they're not gardeners. They're people trying to make money from flipping a management's right contract. So, you know, look at that. The way those are cut, it's ridiculous. One thing I am very pleased to say, though, people, is that the drain tree seems to have been removed, which is great. So over here now, this fella I feel sorry for because he spends half of his year out of the country, and he, I guess, assumes that his levies mean that his gardens get tended to and watered and looked after and stuff. So, but no, he's got some pretty impressive weeds happening. He planted that lovely little plant when he was here early in the year, but I don't know how it's going to survive when it's not looked after very well. So, as you can see, we're not that big. There's not much to be done in this complex. The gardens are minimal, there's hardly any grass. I just don't see, one, how it's worth that much to take care of, and two, how it can be done so crappily when there's really not that much to do, and it all comes back to the same thing. They're not in it for the caretaking, they're in it for the money, and they have full-time jobs. So they're getting income supplements with kids, and who have they got time for doing all this stuff? It's just wrong. Really, really wrong.